Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, Batman Joker War, issue 1. There's a one-shot. This is the variant cover. You're going to see the main cover in a couple seconds. Actually, you're going to see it right about now because I am not going to be doing all of the different things and whatnot. And oh, these people did, James Chaney IV did like the first and the final story. A bunch of people did the other stories and it was really good. This is an anthology style book. I can't do like 5 different stories and everybody who was involved in it. Therefore, I will say this first story. This was good. I can see a bunch of people being upset by this because it's only a setup. I personally am a fan of setups. To me, I feel like I don't know if it's one of the lost arts of storytelling, but the way that some people get upset over setups, I feel like it's on the cusp of being a lost art. Dude, I liked this. I felt like Joker talking to Bane, the way that he was talking to him especially. Basically, I felt like this was Joker breaking the Bane. You know what I'm saying? Instead of Bane, the man who broke the Batman. No, this is the clown who broke the Bane. Or the luchador, however you want to look at it. Rey Mysterio jumps up to save him in his defense. I actually really enjoyed this, and I like setups, so this was good. Next, we have a Fox family story, and I enjoyed this also. It's not like the greatest story ever, but for cramming that much in just a couple of pages, color me impressed. After that, we've got a story with Spoiler and Orphan. And there's this character in here called the Henchmaster, who is basically he's basically a ripoff, like a big, giant, heavy, like strongman ripoff of Taskmaster from Marvel. I'm all for it. I'm here for it. I love it. Do it. We could use a character like this. In fact, let's potentially see more of him at some point. What happens on the final page is the thing that's probably going to cause fans to freak out, and probably in a really good way. After that, we get a Poison Ivy story, which is also a huge setup. It was rather boring, all things considered, but anytime that you're going to show Ivy and you just keep on, with all due respect, making her boobs bigger every time I see her, yeah, I'm going to be okay with that. So I was okay with this. After that, we get a Clown Hunter story. We get a reveal of what his face looks like. I am sure there's plenty of channels out there. The channels that they don't actually show the comic book. They just, they're like, oh, here's the digital copy that I bought. Well, yeah. Here's the copy that I actually bought. So honestly, guys, I'm getting so frustrated seeing people throw up their reviews faster than I am. Bro, I get it that the digital comics come out earlier, but the pirated ones come out earlier too. I think I'm going to start to need to see some receipts before some accusations are made. And I'm being dead serious about this too. I went and I looked up because I was curious about this book specifically. You know me. I don't enjoy looking up other people's reviews. I decided to look up a couple because the reveal in here of Clown Hunter's face, this is not his full origin story. That's coming up in an annual pretty soon. But in this, I'm just like, okay, there was a face here. It looked a whole lot like Damian Wayne. And I know Tinian said flat out, no, this is not Damian Wayne. Okay, but this looks like a version of him. At the very least, it looks a little bit like Dick Grayson in the Teen Titans cartoon, when he would take that one, well, I can't remember the name of that other mantle that he would take. Darn it, like the red card or something, whatever the hell that was. Somebody in the comments will set me straight, and I appreciate it in advance. Anyway, I saw every single final page reveal in this book shown on there. I'm telling you right now, there's no way in hell that freaking DC Comics allowed them to spoil that whole book. This was from someone who I respect, and that respect is dwindling drastically. That I see this person's face attached to the review of this. It's an online review, and it's not a YouTube review. And I saw this, I'm like, yo. If you're just going to try and make money off of reviewing comic books and you're not even reviewing the damn thing, you're just giving spoilers, bro, What's the point in you buying it? What's the point in you reading it? What's the point in you even calling yourself a comic book fan at this point? Look, y'all know me. I will let my emotions boil to the top and simmer over if necessary, all right? I'll go super fluid on your ass. I'm dead serious when I say comic books, we're in danger of comic books potentially one day not existing anymore. And when I am the first freaking person on YouTube to hold up a physical copy of this and this, but meanwhile, there are 10 other reviews up there with all sorts of digital images that DC did not release for sample reviews. You're goddamn thieves. And I hope this review gets to a bunch of people. I actually feel like naming names at this point, but people with 43,000 views on their freaking comic book review. Bro, if I think for the most part, everybody recognizes you do not come to my channel for spoilers unless I specifically put spoilers in the title of my review. No such spoiler titles in my title. This is not a spoiler review. No, rather, this is more like an accusation. Like, dude, I'm really starting to get sick and tired of these people who call themselves journalists or comic book reviewers. And all they're doing is spoiling. So there's no reason for somebody to go and buy the book. Or it makes it more selective, the number of people who are going to go and buy the book. Especially since some of these people don't seem to be reading the book. So let me ask you this now. If all of a sudden somebody goes and says, yeah, this happens and this happens, this happens, a lot of people who like to collect comic books that might actually be worth something in the future, you turn around and you say, oh, this book sucked, nothing special happened in it, F it. But if all these people are doing is spoiling the comic book and they're not actually looking at the finer details of the book, all of a sudden something could have happened in there that these guys just didn't even pay attention to. They didn't even look at that panel because why? I'm just here to get a quick photostat of the last page of the comic book to spoil it, which happened 5 times as far as this comic book is concerned in some people's reviews. Cute, man. Cute. So if that's the case, then they're missing things, which means they're not really giving you the information that you want. They're telling you how the stories ended or how a book ended, but you don't get the finer details of it. You don't get the inside information of the people who actually understand the comic books, care about the characters, want to see the success of a book, but aren't going to lie to you and fluff something. No, instead, these people who are giving you reviews 5 stars, 10 stars, however many stars or books or FUs that they hand out for their stories, I want to ask a question, a genuinely, seriously honest question. What's the point of those if they don't actually understand the characters or the book or care about it? What's the point? These are people who are showing themselves, proving themselves to be less and less informed about the characters, caring less about the books, caring less about the stories and the art, and they're just simply putting out things because they're larger channels than mine. And mind you, this isn't salt. I've never cared about being bigger than anybody else ever. And some of these channels I've pointed to and said, you should go and check these guys out. They're bigger than me. Apparently people like them more than me. I am not, however, going to give that kind of credence to thieves anymore. Like I said, when you just spoil the ending of comic books, especially with images that DC or Marvel in some cases did not give you permission to do, and DC and Marvel would never, no comic book company that I've ever dealt with has ever said, yeah, there are 5 stories in here. You can reveal the last page in every one of them. Go ahead. In fact, I'll give you the images. No. In fact, the only way that they can get these crystalline clear images is if they are stealing the book. Because guess what? The books weren't even released by the time a lot of these were coming out, except that immediate. Which means they definitely weren't reading these stories. They definitely didn't get permission to do these. DC never gave them permission to put those stories up. Dude, all I'm saying is, you know what? Honestly, if you don't care, you don't care. I'm pretty sure, though, 99 point something% of the people who come to my channel, who continuously come to my channel, my repeat viewers, you guys know I'm here about the stories. If I don't like a story, or I don't like the art, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to be a dick about it. But you're going to get honesty, raw, brutal honesty, and as informed as I can be about everything involving the characters, the book, the history of the characters, whatever. And I'm not here to just straight up spoil things, and unless I think that it's mandatory for you to understand what's going on, and to give you warnings in advance. For the few people who just, oh, here's somebody else doing a review for this comic book. Let me see what this person has to say. That's not the kind of person I am. So if that's all you're looking for, feel free to shuffle along and go find somebody else. Again, I don't need your subscriptions. I don't need your reviews or your comments or your likes or anything. I don't need anything from you. I'm here for the people who are more interested in the stories, in the art, in the comic. Not in being first, like those jackasses who get on the channel and just, first. No, you're not. I was first. I was first every single time. I'm the one who posted it, and I take a quick look at it to make sure that it's going. So guess who's first? Yeah, that would be me. Anyway, and my description means I'm the first to comment also, because those are all individually made, at least the top part of it. Now, I'm first. As far as all you secondsies out there, you sloppy seconds, if you're new to the channel, no spoilers. That's not what I'm here for, except maybe this one. That one, she's a good spoiler on here. But bro, I'm getting sick and tired of these channels. Getting sick and tired of these websites. I'm getting sick and tired of these losers who aren't interested in the actual comic book, are willing to steal, take from something else. Like they all get, what do you got? Like some of these big sites out there, the big, websites, they say, oh, we're going to buy one copy from Comixology as soon as it comes out at 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern Central Time, or, midnight Pacific Time, right? Cool. So they get that and they just say, hey, here's the code. Go and check out the book. Do your little review for it. So everybody on that, site, whatever, gets to look at that. They share them with their friends. They share them with each other, because I've seen this before. I've seen this so many times before. And they just take out little bits and articles and images that they want to show, specifically the last page or the last pages. And it's like, hey, I'm doing a cool comic book review. No, you're scum. You're scum. That's what you are. Enjoy returning to the primordial ooze from which you crept up from, because the rest of us, we're actually here for the books. And we, the small community that I have, we are actually here for the books. And to hell with every single one of those other losers and scumbags out there who just want to spoil and rip off and steal and all that nonsense from the medium that we have grown up with, that we love. We're not just some people who, for the most part, oh, I seen a movie. I want to come in, I want to see, what these things are. The only knowledge they have is of the movies. Wrong answer, Junior. Wrong answer. My rant about this comic book has nothing to do with this comic book. This was a really good comic book. But for you thieves, go to hell. You go to hell and learn how to do an actual review. It's a shame this is like the first time that I've actually done a comic book where I haven't said James Tynion IV did this and Joshua Williams did this and this was the artist and blah, blah, blah. But for the most part, that's me also. Anyway, guys, screw those guys. You guys, alumni, awesome. And I'm out. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.